You mentioned that your doctor stretched your cervix or may have stripped your membranes to help induce labor. Sometimes that helps irritate the uterus enough that it starts to contract and causes you to go into labor, and sent you home with instructions to do the same thing that got you pregnant in the first place. The reason why we recommend that in some cases is because semen is a prostaglandin, and that is a hormone that acts on your cervix and helps ripen it. Now that's a weird term because we usually talk about fruit when we talk about ripening things, but your cervix has to do some things to prime itself for labor. It needs to soften, move forward in your pelvis, and start to thin out a little bit, and that's what prostaglandin does. It helps that happen. So that's why sex can help. However, if that's just the furthest thing from your mind, something else that can help is actually nipple stimulation. That tells your brain to release oxytocin, which is the hormone that acts on your uterus and tells it to contract. And so your full term, your doctors, told you that this is okay. That's something else that you could try. And your contractions are going to increase in intensity and frequency with activity, generally speaking. So if they start up, then go for a walk and do whatever you can to get them to increase. And you got to remember that labor is not contractions. Labor is cervical change. So you could have a lot of contractions that do nothing to your cervix, which is really frustrating, or you can have contractions that actually change your cervix, and that is labor. The only way we can tell if you're really in labor, though, is for you to go to the hospital and have your cervix checked. And we'd check you from, the first thing when you got there, and then we'd close the door, cross our fingers, tell you to work hard, come back an hour later and see what's happened. And if your cervix has changed, then you're in labor and get to stay. Congratulations ahead of time with your baby. I hope everything goes well. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page, and also recommend us to your friends and family too.